Welcome to ToxicGeeks.com reviews. Justin here, and we are continuing our summer anime coverage of 2018. And we are back to the island with Island episode 2. I don't want you to feel bad. And compared to last week's episode 2 does exactly what I was hoping for, and I was fleshing out a little bit more of the island, fleshing out more of the characters, what some of the rules are, why the people are even on the island, and it went to a very interesting. I would say I'm not really a big fan of this. So this is going to contain spoilers, so I'm sorry to say this. I will be spoiling episode 2 for everybody, so if you don't want to episode spoiler, I suggest you go to a non-spoiler review from somebody else. Okay, so episode 2, we find out the history of the island, and it turns out there were 3 families, Rinne's family, Sara's family, Karen's family, and they are descendants of girls of the same name. And what happens is that we have one of the girls, Rinne, who had an older brother, Setsuna, who she was actually in love with. Yes, we have incest, folks. Incest is here. So I know that's why I was like, boy, why really they really went left field with this. So they have this incestual relationship, and I believe it was Sara or Karen, one of the other girls who was actually in love with the older brother Setsuna was actually jealous of this relationship, and she went to this mystical being and asked to curse Rinne, and Rinne eventually gets cursed and ends up killing herself because she can't deal with the curse. So Setsuna goes back to this mystical being and makes a deal with them, like if Rinne gets to be revived, he'll make a deal with her. Rinne gets revived, and if he meets Rinne when she's revived, the spell will be cursed and true love will prevail again. They just basically throw it out there like, hey, she's in love with her brother, but that's not explored. Thankfully, it's not explored, but it's just kind of like you throw in this huge news to us, and you don't even continue with that. It's just like, okay, here you go. And then it turns out the main character that's calling himself, that they're naming Sensua, who's lost his memory, I believe they're going to make this guy a kind of a reincarnate version of the Sensua that's part of the main core of the island. And that Sensua becomes like this protector of the island and the cosmos and all this other stuff. It was just a whole lot. It was a mess to me. It did I was happy that they did explore more of the island and give us more of a backstory, but the whole story just felt so bloated and just over the top. And then they had this subplot of Karen trying to find her dream, wanting to pursue her dreams, and she's getting ready to do that against her father's wishes. I mean, it was a mess. It was a complete mess, and I'm gonna stick with it for now, but I really cannot keep watching this show. They have some really uncomfortable sexual overtones for characters that are very, very young. So I don't know who this is. I believe this is based off a visual novel, so I'm not sure who the core audience is for this one. But right now, I don't feel episode 2, the island, is not looking good for right now, you guys. This is episode 2. Right now, this is a skip it. I'm giving this episode a D plus. This was just, I'm happy it explained more of the island, but the whole story itself is just wrapping up to just being random occurrences, and nothing's really becoming more cohesive with the plot. The voice acting still remains pretty strong, animation still remains beautiful, and everything else, but the story wise right now it's just a little bit out there for me. So I can't recommend this at this moment, but I will continue to do up until episode 5. So this is Justin from otakusgeeks.com saying later days. I'll catch you on the next review.